every generation, maybe every decade, a company comes along that changes the game. And the next speaker is with one of those companies. They really changed how technology is done, and they've had a worldwide impact. We're specialists in their product for a reason, and it's because they make an incredible suite of products. And I'm guessing that if you're not already using it, and 90% of you are, the other 10% are not far behind. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce June from VMware. Please give her a warm welcome.
All right, before we get started, I would like to thank KIS and Sean specifically for inviting VMware to speak with you today. I will be representing VMware as a core solution engineer, and I'm just really excited to talk to you guys, and I hope you enjoy this presentation as much as I do. So with that being said, I have a few areas or topics that I'd like to speak to you about, starting with a couple of stories that I have to tell. The first story is about me. My name is June, and I'm a solution engineer at VMware. I specialize in our core portfolio, so what you think of as our bread and butter with our data center virtualization products, that's pretty much what I am specialized in. I'd like to tell you now a little bit about the first day that I had at work, the first day I had at VMware. On my first day of work, I was nervous and excited. I opened up my laptop for the first time, and I remember how scared and terrified I was to start a completely new role in my first real job out of college. I was worried about making friends with my coworkers. I was worried about sounding smart enough in front of my employee and my customers as well. And there were a lot of other stresses that were racking my mind. But the biggest stress on my first day of work, was actually getting ramped up and figuring out where all of my apps were so I could start to be a productive member of my team. Typing into my computer my password and my credentials to set up RSA, our token password app, I recall how easy it was to get everything started, and it was very much a no-fuss process. Once I had signed into my work portal, my mind was blown at the way that all of the apps that I needed to access were in a single place, including Microsoft apps, our internal organization apps, and internal and HR resources as well. I was fully granted the access that I needed in a single stroke or single movement, and what could have taken a matter of weeks was complete in a matter of minutes. We make this possible and keep things simple through a single portal for all device types, leveraging a single set of policies based on users' identities and roles. This allows a user to easily be able to access their applications on a Mac one day and on a Windows the next. We find at VMware that digital employee experience is paramount and is one of the most important heartbeats and important factors for maintaining an organization successfully. By using our solution, you too can simplify your employee's experience, so it was as simple as it was for me on my first day of work. I want to tell you now another story. Do you recognize this building? The words on the screen might give it away, but this is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. As a top-tier technology school, MIT wants IT groups focused on cutting-edge technologies. Much of their data today runs on VMs, and MIT runs IT very similarly to how you do in your businesses. In 2014, however, they were going through a major shift. Boston area real estate costs were extremely high, and MIT's 10-year lease was growing up on their data center facility. So what they did was they went through an extensive cost analysis, and they made the decision to migrate their storage to the cloud. With over 3,000 workloads, MIT was concerned about making the transition smoothly to the cloud. But they leveraged their existing VMware relationships and their relationship with Amazon as well. MIT initially made 2 small purchases to fund rigorous testing before moving all of their infrastructure to Amazon data centers with VMware. The program MIT and VMware co-developed made it possible for them to move their VMs to Amazon services with no downtime, and they were left with fewer than 20 VMs in OVH. The result was that they significantly cut costs and associated responsibilities. VMware is now the one that takes care of all those responsibilities, allowing MIT to focus on other areas of innovation. We kept migration to the cloud and cloud simple through a solution that could migrate hundreds of thousands of workloads with very little downtime and maintain business continuity along the way. IHS Markit is another global powerhouse, supporting the decision-making processes of large organizations and governments around the world. Years ago, the company transformed their IT operations by using VMware solutions to build a unified on-premises cloud, which I'm sure many of you guys are familiar with on-premises. It's what a lot of our customers are accustomed to. Within a few years, however, the rapidly growing company had their demands and needs changing. They realized that they would need the global reach and scalability benefits of the cloud to further their business goals and serve more of their clients worldwide while addressing security concerns. So what they did was they worked with VMware and established a strategy of deploying VMware in the cloud through the partnership between VMware and AWS. This foundation for global hybrid cloud accelerated time to market for services while addressing security and data localization concerns. The result, well, it was really simple because they were able to migrate 1,000 workloads to the cloud in a matter of 6 weeks. They eliminated their technical debt that was associated to migration and data center maintenance without having to refactor any of their existing applications. We keep IT simple by offering a consistent operating model for managing infrastructure, supporting growth without having to buy any additional data center equipment. And even though being on premises isn't the sexiest thing, it does work for many of our customers, and we want to meet them where they're at. Herald Insurance and Finance, and this is actually in Tel Aviv, Israel, is the biggest player in Israel's insurance market today. They have 5,000 employees and they make up 20% of the entire market. The market for Israel is very dynamic and it's established. There are about 5 key players that run the entire insurance market, with Herald being the top. Despite this, they wanted to, even with the fact that they're an established player, they wanted to develop new routes to market which would enhance the customer's experiences while strengthening their existing channels. Herald's focus is on new markets, efficiency, and time to market. In the words of their VP, they said, doing things better and quicker than our competitors is the most important. So in 2014, Herald formed a plan with VMware to create an efficient and flexible IT infrastructure. They were able to modernize data center virtualization solutions to create an efficient and flexible IT infrastructure that would support their customer needs and address security concerns. The group, in results, has created an efficient, agile IT environment that supports a dynamic business, and this platform absolutely transformed the culture within Herald as well. We keep IT simple by modernizing the data center like we've always done, letting companies like Herald focus on new services and their customers while taking care of the rest. T-Mobile is also a company that puts their customers first. T-Mobile was one of the first companies in the mobile telecom space that allowed wireless carriers to offer more flexible month-to-month plans. As a result, the company over the past 5 years has enjoyed an enormous level of growth, with around 73 million customers today, and so that's actually doubling its count. With that growth, however, came a couple of challenges. They were struggling to deliver a first-in-class customer experience. For example, in 2015, it took developers of T-Mobile 7 months and 72 steps to release a single piece of software. In an industry as fast-moving as wireless telecom, such long deployment and development times make it really impossible for them to innovate at a rapid pace, adjusting to customer demands. We collaborated with T-Mobile to deploy a modern cloud-native platform that transformed how they build software. With an initial successful deployment under their belt, T-Mobile began moving a bunch of their applications into the service over 2016 and 2017. In addition to improving the reliability and stability of the software, this solution also allowed them to develop more of a microservices approach in contrast to a monolithic approach to applications. They saw measurable results in supporting over 30,000 of their customers with a 40% increase in release velocity and a 10,000 transactions per second time with no performance degradation. We made IT simple by transforming the way that T-Mobile builds apps and allowed them to support more and more users and transactions with very little downtime. So what I've effectively done is just tell a couple of stories about how we've been able to transform customer experiences. But how did we really get there as a company? Our path starts from virtualization to multi-cloud, app development to security, but what has remained consistent over the past 10, 20 years or so, right? So let's walk through that journey together. In 2002, the hypervisor transformed virtualization. VMware released the ESX Server 1.5, its first hypervisor. By consolidating multiple servers onto fewer physical devices, this product was groundbreaking for its time because it boosted performance, streamlined IT performance and administration, and allowed organizations to cut costs immensely. After many years of continuous innovation with vSphere and virtualization, what we did was, in 2013 was actually release software-defined storage and networking with that to support what we call the software-defined data center. Software-defined storage enabled IT admins to transform their rigid and inflexible storage strategy to one that was really flexible and based on policy-based management. In the same year, we were able to do similar things with NSX, which is software-defined networking. This basically brought about a completely new operating model for networking by moving entire networks into software and allowing for key security components like microsegmentation to be easily configurable. In 2014, this is when we really focused on our EUC stack, or end-user computing. End-user computing encompasses user access to virtual desktops and enterprise applications like the ones that I accessed on my first day. The idea was modernizing employee experience and making the onboarding process for them as seamless as possible, and supporting remote employees during the pandemic as well. In 2017, we modernized applications. Businesses today rely on continuously delivering services and optimizing software on any cloud and at any edge. This includes building new clouds and building new cloud-native applications and modernizing existing applications as well to operate effectively in cloud environments. With our modern app solutions, we have the power to innovate and to grow businesses on our terms, working powerfully with Kubernetes and containers. Then, towards the end of 2017, VMware joined forces with the largest cloud provider to date that you will probably already know. If you don't, let's have a conversation after this. AWS. VMware and AWS announced the launch of VMC on AWS, which just stands for VMware Cloud on AWS, which enables IT teams to manage their cloud computing and their infrastructure while working with familiar VMware tools. This partnership basically signaled the new dawn of cloud computing, where customers will be able to run any app on any cloud on any device. We started a simple virtualization company. It's crazy to think that the innovations that happened even before I was born in 1999, so like even before then, have accumulated to where we are now, where over the years we've become so much more than just a virtualization company, which is what a lot of our customers still know us as. Virtualizing and modernizing the entire data center, including networking, security, storage, data center migration, everything. And we've also been able to solve a lot of our customers' complex challenges along the way, like the stories that we were able to explore today. All of these innovations that started since the 1990s have worked towards the vision of enabling our customers to keep things simple and run any app on any cloud on any device. So now you might be asking, then what is the next step for VMware and what are you doing now? Well, to start out, let's talk about the cloud. I will assume that everybody knows what the cloud is because at this point it's not really new, but basically the cloud was first introduced and the idea was that you would be able to access all of your infrastructure over the internet with no need for managing your data center. This was a dream for the hyperscalers like AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure. But the result was that that didn't exactly pan out perfectly. That's where the idea of cloud chaos came in the red bubble here. In fact, VMware realized pretty early on that there was always going to be a need for on-premises because many of our customers, and many of you, I'm sure, did not move to the cloud yet or have no intention of moving to the cloud. We knew that on-premises and off-premises would need to be managed together, even as disparate environments became more siloed and basically created fences between on-premises and public cloud environments. We acted early to make sure that these environments could still work together by collaborating with major clouds. And most importantly, we made sure that our tools could work across the clouds seamlessly, regardless of where they're located. We solved cloud chaos and we moved to a cloud-smart approach, taking in a holistic view of the data center and raising that up to the cloud level. These were a few of the problems that customers that we talked to have explicitly expressed about their disinterest or dissatisfaction with the cloud. Risks related to security, data, and privacy issues, inconsistent constructs, internal gaps in skills, complex management and siloed management, and the lack of ability to optimize spend in the cloud. So what we did was address these challenges in the following ways. We helped to bridge the gaps for developers using modern app designs. We broke down those siloed cloud infrastructure sectors to provide management, automation, security, networking, and tool integrations for vSphere and cloud environments together. And lastly, we made vSphere a universal hypervisor platform that provides full mobility for all workloads across all of the clouds and includes those development pieces in there as well. This is the bulk of today's session. If there's nothing else that was interesting to you, all I want for you to take away is this one slide. This is why we do it. Why we offer VMware Cross-Cloud Services, a portfolio of cloud-native services that deliver a unified and simplified way to build, to operate, to access, and to secure any app on any cloud, on any device. These are our services that our customers rely on every day to keep their IT simple, by growing their business, by supporting modern app development, by accelerating cloud transformation and migration, and by empowering their digital workforce. With that, thank you.